Super. Hi, everybody. I see Roxanne, Egil, and Angela. Thank you for joining. So today we're going to learn about how to create engaging 1-minute videos, basically to showcase your solution. My name is Susanna, and I manage multimedia production at the International Trade Center. That is the joint agency of the United Nations and the World Trade Organization. So this is going to be super interactive. And because we have such a tight-knit small group, like we can probably answer most of your questions. So please feel free to chat in the box to say if you have any questions at any point. First, what we're going to do is I'm going to basically kind of do a rundown of how you might want to script your video. And then we'll use this free app that's available on Android and Apple to see how we can actually bring that video together technically. So for those of you, have you made videos before or have you not? If you can just type in yes or no in the chat box, then we can try to see how much territory we cover, where to focus more of the attention on as we do this. Okay, so Roxanne, Angela. Okay, so all three, no. Got it. Then we'll go from the basics, which is going to be fun, and we're all on the same page. So if you haven't already, please download the app called InShot. Okay, that's cool, Roxanne. If you're a total beginner, that is cool. So please, if you haven't already, download the free app called InShot. It's available on both Android and Apple. Great. We'll just wait another few seconds to see if everyone else can be on the same page. So as I do this, I'm going to show you on my phone how we're going to be doing it. But it's also nice as you're watching, if you wanted to follow along, try to see where all the different options are on the app. While you're doing that, let me give you the rundown of how you should script. This is going to be a 1-minute video where you basically pitch your solution to a judge, to several judges about your solution. So what you want to do is make a 10-second introduction. It can either be selfie style video, or you can have a team member film you. You could prop your phone on, some like elevated surface and just film yourself or in a group. Make a 10-second, like 1 or 2 sentence introduction about what your solution is and what your solution is going to accomplish. You might want to write down what you want to say before you start filming yourself on this. The second part of this, after you say what your solution and why it matters, is to describe what your solution looks like. So we're going to go through 3 different options of doing that. The first option we're going to look at is if you just create a PowerPoint with different slides. And then you take your mobile phone and you actually film your PowerPoint. And this is going to be very homemade sounding, but you're going to film your screen and just kind of go through the different slides. This is an easy way just to film what you're doing. And as you're doing that, as you're going through the slides, you'll explain what is on the slides. The second option for showing your solution is if you wanted to actually film a product, if your solution is a product or it's something online and you built a website or something for it, then you want to show that, then you film that separately. And as you're filming that, you explain in your voiceover what you're looking at. The third and final option to show your solution is to take photos of whatever it is that your solution is, whether it's people or products or whatever it is. You take still photos and then you import those photos into your into the app, the video editing app, and then you edit the photos together and you add voiceover afterwards. And then of course, the last thing you want to do, another 10-second summary of what your solution is, just to say, to recap, this is our solution. Thank you, judges, kind of. So if that part is clear, we'll head into the technical part of doing the video. Is everyone okay? If you want to give me like a little yes or something in the comment box. Okay, got it. So 10-second intro. I would say like a 40-second show your solution and then a 10-second conclusion. And try to create bullet points before you go into the editing or the filming part, because then it'll be a more streamlined process. Great. Now we're going to switch over. I'm going to share my screen and show you my phone so we can edit together. Oh, let me see if I can do this. Do you see my screen? No, you do not. Bear with me, please. Okay, there we go. Okay, now everyone sees my screen. I use an Apple, but it really doesn't matter. Whether it's Android or Apple, you can pretty much do the same. But here in the second, you see at the very top, the second app is called InShot. I'm just going to click on that. And I'm going to click on video. So we're going to start off by first showing you the first option I talked about, which was doing a basic PowerPoint with an intro, PowerPoint, conclusion kind of format. So I'm going to select my intro and conclusion, which I filmed in advance, and then my PowerPoint. I select the files that I want. Don't worry if you forgot to select something. All you need to do then is, do you see this plus button at the very bottom of the bottom left-hand corner of the screen? You can just select that, and you can add any new footage or things that you might have forgotten to do. Okay, so I'm not able to see the chat box right now. So if you have questions, I'll try to keep an eye on it. But otherwise, I'll try to try to explain clearly. Okay, so that's our solution. As soon as I start playing it, I realize that this is my conclusion. So this did not import in the right order. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the clip. And then hold it down with my finger. And then the app knows that I want to switch the position. Drag to swap. I'm going to put it at the very end. Did you see that? Just click and drag to the right order. I know this is my conclusion, so I'm putting it in the way back. I go back to the beginning. I play. Hi, everybody. Our solution is to create a... So this is my intro. You will notice that there is a little bit of a pause, and when I'm like trying to get the camera rolling, let's say I want to cut that part out, right? This again. I want to start it like right before I wave. So I'm going to just click on the clip at the very bottom of the screen and just kind of try to time it to right where I begin. And then if you look at this row of different options up here, there's something called split. Do you see that? I kind of centered it right underneath that play sign. Click on split. And click back on that little tiny clip that I want to delete, and then delete. So now the video starts where I want it to. Hi, everybody. Our solution is to... Do you hear that? So now it actually begins at the portion that I want to. I say the introduction is to create a series of engaging social media friendly videos that only feature facts from trustworthy sources. That's the introduction. I can choose to like get rid of that little bit at the end if I want as well. But let's say I just want to leave it there. And then now I'm going to go into what I explained about having a PowerPoint on your computer screen and you film it with your mobile. This is trustworthy sources. So let's say this is the PowerPoint that we created to showcase our solution. I'm literally just holding the camera up, filming, and with another finger, I'm just going through each slide. Right? So my voiceover is obviously not talking about the solution here, but you get the idea. You would explain what your solution is and try to keep this part about 40 seconds long or so. And then we head into the conclusion part. So that's our solution. We want to share videos that show the facts about COVID from trustworthy news sources. Thank you. So that's one way that you can do it. Again, if you want to film your introduction and conclusion, you can do it in a group. If you've worked with a group, you can also do it by yourself. You can do it selfie style holding the video, or you can just prop it up. This one, I just literally just put it on selfie mode and put it on top, propped against my laptop. So that's one option. Let's look at the second option, which is you took footage of like a website that you built or something. Similar idea. But first I'm going to just delete this PowerPoint because I'm not going to use this option anymore. Delete. And do you see at the very bottom of the screen, there's that plus sign again? Click on that. And I'm going to add different video clips. Okay. Same option, same beginning, same conclusion, but in the middle, we wanted to actually add different web page shots. Notice there's no sound on this one. And the reason why is I just decided to have different clips from the website that we built. Well, in this one, we're just using for the Versus Virus website as an example. Let's say I want to add voiceover after I get my shots. How you want to do that is, do you see this row of options that you can select? Under music, which is the second one here, it has a music note. I click on that. And do you see that mic button called record? That's giving me voiceover. Here is the Versus Virus website. You can see the about page here. And if you want more information about our partners, here's where you can get that information. So I just basically recorded right now a voiceover on top of the footage that I inputted into my thing. So this is one option that you can do, right? If I don't like it, do you see at the bottom right-hand corner, there's that like circle arrow button? I could redo that. Let's say I like my voiceover. I'm going to click the check button. So now the voiceover appears on top of that footage that I shot. I can move the voiceover around by clicking on that voiceover to wherever I want it to begin. Let's say I want it to begin at the very beginning of the web footage that I brought in. And I just want to play it just to see what it looks like. Trustworthy sources. Voiceover. Here is the Versus Virus website. You can see the about page here. And if you want more information about so is that clear? I'm just going to quickly stop the screen share so I can see the chat to see if there are any questions. Okay, so it looks like we're okay so far. I'm just going to revert back to the phone so we can see. Let's see. Okay, so questions-wise, we're okay. Okay. So back to the phone. That's one way to add voiceover. We're good up to that point. Let's say the last option is I want to add photos instead, right? Let's say I don't want to bother filming the solution that I have. I'm going to first just delete all of these other clips just so we don't clutter. As you can see, the delete button is up here, the little trash can. Okay, delete. Okay, I'm going to again press that little red button, the red plus button, to import whatever is in my camera roll. And I'm going to go on, do you see on the top, there's something called photos, videos, all. Under photos, let's say I want these 3 photos. I add them in. Okay, again, I see that now they've been added to the back of the timeline. So again, if I want to bring them towards the middle and between my intro and conclusion, just click on the thing, hold it down with your finger, and then just slide the ones that you want in it. Press down and squeeze in there. Okay. As you'll see, here is the Versus Virus. I'm hearing my voiceover here. To delete that, okay, so here's one interesting thing. If you want to do anything to a clip or voiceover or whatever, you need to go back into the, the topic where you added the thing. So under music, only when I click under music, then I can see the voiceover. I don't want that anymore. I want to delete it. Check mark, okay. So now there's no voiceover anymore. I just want to see pictures. Here, basically, I'm sitting here at Impact Hub here in Geneva. So I just took some shots when I got here. These are just still photos. Again, if you do just still photos with no voiceover, go back to music, press record, do your voiceover while you're watching the footage or the photos passing by. And then you press the check button. That's how you do that one. So now let's say you've done the voiceover or you filmed your PowerPoint, you have your intro and conclusion, and now you just kind of want to have a little bit of fun. The first thing I want to show you is to do subtitles. They've done studies where they now show like 80% of people watch videos without audio on. So if you want to add subtitles, you see at the very, this scrolly screen thing, you see the T, right in the middle. That's text. I'm going to add subtitles. So let's say this is our solution. I want to make the font by just pressing on this color wheel. Let's say something that's more visible. Okay, let's just press red and then just kind of move it. As you can see, I can click on it and just move it to wherever I want to. Let's just say I like that. Then again, press the check button to make that stay there. Now, if you see, again, just like the voiceover, it comes onto a different, one layer on top of the video layer. And you can click and drag out however long you want that subtitle to be. And again, you can position it differently. I'm just clicking and dragging. If you want to edit it again, if you want to type in different text, just click on the thing again, and you can just type directly into the box. That's one option that you can do for subtitles. If you have the chance to, I think it would be nice if you did do subtitles. Another thing I want to show you is, this is kind of a fun thing. Under stickers, if you see at the top, you'll see a bunch of stickers. So I'm not encouraging everybody to go out and put like, bunny ears or anything onto your video, but under this second icon here on the way left, you see that mountain, that picture function. You can choose from your camera roll a photo that you might want to show up as a picture-in-picture function. So to show you what that means, let's say I wanted this shot of this website as a picture-in-picture. It imports right in. I can adjust the size by pinching it and releasing it. And let's say I just kind of want it to be like, news show style. I want that to appear on the right hand of the screen, right? And if you look at down here at the timeline, you'll see that again, it appears on a layer on top of my intro. So if I click on that, I can drag it out as long as I want. Nope. There, longer. So let's say I want it for the length of my intro. Hi, everybody. Our solution is to create a series of engaging social media. So if the photo were relevant, that might be one cool way to do it, right? To just have a little like picture-in-picture function. Okay, now let's try to see if we can add some different types of fun things. If you wanted to add like a thumbs up, I saw one of us was doing the thumbs up before. Under sticker, right? If you wanted to have a little fun, you can kind of do that kind of thing. And again, you press the button. You can lengthen the time, you can make a change, you can do different things. Remember, the judges are also human just like we are. So if you make it kind of fun and engaging, that could be another option. Same thing you can do with different filters that you can adapt to make it brighter, less bright. You can change the colors a little bit. I wouldn't go over the top with this just because then the focus is drawn away from the content, but this is kind of one option if you wanted to play around with it that you can have some fun with. If you wanted to cut something, remember how in the beginning that we cut off the beginning when I was introducing and I was kind of looking at the camera? Let's say I accidentally cut too much of the footage. You could either undo it, which is at the very bottom, kind of middle. You see this back arrow in the bottom left-hand corner. It's right on top of this thing. Yeah. So you can click that to do undo. Or if you click on the clip itself, do you see that that first clip is highlighted here? I can just drag out the beginning in the same way. So just because you split the clip doesn't mean that's gone forever if you want to stretch it back out, which means then I come back to this, right? And I can readjust it like that. Oop. I can kind of do this. So I can go in and out just to lengthen and take away from here. If you had some kind of thing where you wanted to show people walking quickly or something, right? There's a speed button here where you can speed up your footage or slow it down. So this might be useful if you had a solution about, reaching more people with this app that you created that tells people information about COVID. And then you wanted to get people, like crowds of people just kind of walking by, but you don't want to show faces. Let's say you wanted to kind of get creative in that way, that you can film just people walking around and then speed them up to like ×4. Then it just looks like a bunch of people are walking by and you're not showing any actual faces. That's one creative way you can do it. This is not necessary because this is only a 1-minute video and you just want to showcase your solution. But if you wanted to add some kind of fun things like that, you can do that as part of your footage. There are also other fun kind of options where you can rotate the screen if you wanted to get creative. But that's the general gist of it. And I think we came to the end of the tutorial part of it. So I'm just gonna check the chat box and see if you have any questions on how to use the app so far. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, hello. But for me, it's easier to speak because I'm not English speaking person. So I try to explain my question. So
Yes.
first, I had to download the app, so I missed the first minute of your presentation. So can you repeat, please, the first 10 seconds of the video should be what?
Okay, so in terms of the structuring of the video, was that correct?
Yes, exactly. You tell so
Hi,
hi.
Roxanne.
You tell in the beginning that when we do the video, this 1 minute video,
Yeah.
so the first 10 seconds and then the next 10 seconds, and what should I put in these seconds?
Perfect question. That's a great question. So the judges want to see basically a 1 minute recap of what your solution is. And the idea of it is to pitch your idea in a very easy to understand way. So because you only have a minute, I'm suggesting, you don't have to stick by it, but I'm suggesting that you do a 10-second introduction, 10-second conclusion, and then you use the bulk of the time, which is 40 seconds, to describe what your solution is. So in your introduction, really 10 seconds goes by pretty quickly. So I would just have 1 or 2 sentences introducing what your solution is and what it's trying to accomplish. So in our fake example, we said we want to create a series of videos that show true facts about COVID because people need to have the right information to make the right decisions.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 10-second intro. Then 40 seconds, either with a PowerPoint presentation or you're filming different things just on your phone, or you use several still photographs and you import it into InShot, and you either do the voiceover recording while you're recording the footage, or you can, in the app, which we saw, you can use the record function to record as you're watching the footage happen.
Okay.
That's the 40-second part. Yeah, that's when you should explain how does it tackle this, the challenges, is the solution feasible, how do you scale it, what does it take for the solution to be long-term, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then you end with the 10-second conclusion, recapping, almost kind of recapping what you said in the intro, just to remind the judges what your solution is. You can do that in a group or with people, but I mean, honestly, right now we're social distancing, so you might just have one person appointed to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're a really small group now at the moment in this hackathon, but yeah, it's our first time for all, and so we look what we can do in this one day.
Super. Best wishes. Thank you. That's a really good question.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roxanne. Does anyone else have any other questions? Yes, Eagle, I think, has a question. Or are you saying that you're good? Because it's a thumbs up, which is good. I just don't know if that means you have a question or.
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, super. This is actually really interesting because the first time it was a big group, so it was not as interactive one-on-one, but I think this is a cool way to do it if you have personal questions. Is everyone else okay with it? If anyone joined later and they had questions, the app is called InShot. I'll type it into the chat. It's available on Android and Apple, and it's free. And there is a pro account if you'd like to purchase it. Otherwise, you can just use it directly. You're welcome, Roxanne. Otherwise, you can use it directly, and they're sponsored by ads. So this is why the app is free. And at least from the reviews and stuff, InShot is highly rated. It's one of the top video editing software, also because it's so intuitive. So I'll stick around for another several minutes in case anyone has burning questions. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll talk a little bit about the filming composition. So when I showed you on my phone the introduction and conclusion, there's also selfie option. There's also just propping up your camera, but whichever way you want to film your introduction and conclusion, I would recommend kind of sitting in a naturally lit, well-lit place. I'm sitting here at Impact Hub, but let me just show you how the lighting can be different, just even in the same spot without even moving rooms, just adjusting where my computer is. Do you see like how this side of my face is all dark? It's like even little things like that, it does matter. So if just by adjusting closer to the window and having the light facing me, that's even more clear light-wise. So you want to make sure when you film, then you want to do that. So Angela's asking, do we need to convert the video format for inclusion in Versus Virus? Well, if you actually, that's a good question. Once you finish editing your video on InShot, you can export it and it comes into an MP4 file, I believe. Let me show you how to do that. Let me just share my screen real quick. Okay. Okay, so back in InShot, okay, I'm gonna go back to my file. Let's say I love what we just edited here, okay? At the very top right-hand corner of the screen, do you see that little like box, that little rectangle with a little arrow going up? If I press that, I'm going to save. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cancel it. I'm gonna delete several files just so it exports more quickly. Because if it's a lighter file, then the thing will go more quickly. Oops. Okay. So let's say I want to export this. I want to save. Okay. Exit out of this app thing. And now you can see that it's saved. I go into my photo roll. I see the clip right there. That file, if it's a I believe it was a standard MP4 file, then it's super, it's relevant anywhere. So you don't have to convert for anything else. Okay, cool. So Angela's okay with that. Please feel free to put in the chat if you have any other questions, or just like Roxanne, just come on screen. That's fine too, because we have a small enough group to do that. Otherwise, I'm just going to briefly cover the composition again. So I just showed you the lighting aspect. Also, when you film yourself, the other thing that you want to keep in mind, besides the lighting of where you're sitting, is how you're framed in the shot. Try to have a little bit of what we call headspace up here. So you're not cutting yourself off unless you're trying to do it for artistic reasons. You also don't want to be like way back, looking too small with too much headspace. You want to kind of, in general, be framed somewhat in the middle like this with headspace. And if you wanted to show your arms and your hands, you can do this. For artistic reasons, if you'd like, you can either divide up the screen mentally into thirds like this and position yourself either here or here. That's another option in terms of framing your shot. So framing your shot, lighting. The other super important thing when you're filming yourself or anything actually, and if you take photos and you know this, but is photos are also important, but then this one is audio. Right now I have the window open here and you can't hear that much because it's fairly quiet outside, but let's say if I had a dog or if I had other family members who were in here and there's a lot of noise, what you might not hear with your human ear, the camera captures everything. So I would close the windows, doors, unless it's super quiet. Try to wear a headset mic. Frame yourself properly. Make sure you have natural light. Artificial light works, but if you have natural light, it's really nice. So that's how you can film. Anybody else have any questions on anything? Otherwise, I think I will let all of you get back to your hackathon and get back to work. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand now, or you can type something in the chat or come on screen. Super, you're welcome, Angela. Thank you, everybody, and thank you for the good work that you're doing. Volunteering to do this and to find solutions. I think this is a super cool initiative. Thank you, Philippa. Alrighty then. Best wishes, happy Saturday, and happy hacking. And also a big shout